Today I'm going to be giving you my spoiler-free review for Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 2, which hits Netflix on November 23rd. Now, this is 5 episodes, yet again, just like Part 1 was, and they're all around 30 minutes, give or take, different varying times. I am really excited to give you my thoughts. Now, if this is your first time here, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss out on more TV reviews, movie reviews, trailer reactions, and celebrity interviews. I have a lot of coverage from Part 1 up, including an interview with the one and only Kevin Smith, so be sure to check that out. Okay, guys, let's talk about this show. Hey, Tessa from MamasGeeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. Let's start off with just addressing the elephant in the room. I know there are some longtime fans of He-Man that were not fans of Part 1. Just that's it, right? I'm not going to go much further into that, except that I will say for me, Part 2 was really, really good. I loved Part 1. I did, right? You guys see my review. You know I was a massive fan of it. I thought it was crazy. I loved the cliffhangers. I loved most of what Kevin Smith did with it. Now, I will say I think Part 2 is so much better, which I didn't think it could get better. And now I'm eagerly on the edge of my seat awaiting a Part 3, because each of these episodes does that same thing where it gives you a cliffhanger, it gives you a cliffhanger, it gives you a cliffhanger. And episode 5 gives a massive cliffhanger in Part 2. And I'm like, what is happening? They're going to make us wait who knows how long for a Part 3? This is crazy. Something I really enjoy about this series is that, you guys, it proves, and listen, I know a lot of you are probably going to disagree, but I think this proves Kevin Smith knows how to tell a story. Without what happened in Part 1, a lot of the stuff that's going on in Part 2 wouldn't feel as emotional, as important. The stakes weren't there, right? There's a lot going on here. Now, I know, Part 1 was definitely more about Teela and Evelyn's journey, right? Absolutely. But we still got some He-Man and some Skeletor in there, okay, and flashbacks, and in the first episode and the last episode, specifically, we got a lot of them. And then, now in Part 2, like, listen, guys, if you haven't seen Part 1, I'm going to give a little spoilers for Part 1. I'm not giving spoilers for Part 2, though, but we've got Skelegod now, right? And he's insane and he's crazy. And if you've seen the trailer, so this could act as a little bit of a spoiler, however it is in the first episode. If you've seen the trailers as well, you know we get Savage He-Man, right? Adam calls down the power without the sword and he becomes Savage He-Man. And then things get real, y'all, okay? The best part about this Part 2, though, is that we really get to see this, but we get to see some of him as Adam. We get a lot of time with him, and I just absolutely love what is done with him in this. But I also really love what's done with Skelegod in this one as well. His relationship with Evelyn, I mean, Adam's relationship with Teela, there's a lot of stuff that was broken, right? For all sorts of reasons between both of those relationships in Part 1. So they really dive into that and explore that in Part 2. And again, that's storytelling they wouldn't be able to do without Part 1. Okay? Same with somebody who maybe comes back, that we definitely heard during the trailer, wouldn't mean as much if it wasn't for the previous part. So it all comes together collectively, and that's what is important about this series, and what I love so much about this series, and why I am dying for a Part 3 of this series. You guys, just wait until you see the end. The last shot, really the last shot of episode 5, you're like, are you kidding me? It's the same thing like Part 1. It's like a love-hate relationship here with Kevin Smith. Like, come on, Kevin. I love you. I think you did a great thing with this series, but like, why are you making me wait who knows how long for a Part 3? We better get a Part 3. I will be so upset if we don't get a Part 3, and this is where we are left off. That would be not cool. Continuing on, we still have that gorgeous animation, of course, and we still have an incredible score. It's very much the same feel. It obviously feels like a continuation of Part 1, which is exactly what it is. Something I really like about Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 2 as well is that it doesn't abandon Teela and Evelyn's story. Something that could easily have been done, okay? It's something that could pushed aside, especially after the response from some fans from Part 1. Obviously, we've got He-Man, we've got Skeletor back, we've got all that stuff going on, so it's easy to just, let's focus on them and let's forget about Teela and Evelyn, and they don't do that. Well, they do still focus a lot, heavily, on Adam, He-Man, Savage He-Man, whatever, Skeletor, Skelegod, but we also still get a continuation of Teela's story, which goes where I never would have expected, and Evelyn's story, which goes where I never would have expected. I mean, I love what he has done with these characters, what Kevin Smith and what the writers, what everyone has done with these characters. Really enjoy where they're going, and I can't wait to even see more in part 2. So again, it's just 5 episodes. They're about half an hour long. I mean, you're looking at 2.5 hours of watching. Very easy binge. Very, very easy binge for Netflix. And if you haven't already seen part 1, well, I did give some spoilers here, but I hope that you do check it out. And it's kind of fun to watch them back to back. So when I got these screeners, I watched part 2 because I had already seen part 1, and then I watched them back to back, and they really, really connect and flow well together. Like I said, I mean, you got all those cliffhangers, so it's kind of like, okay, you don't have to wait at the end of 5, but now we're gonna have to wait who knows how long for part 3 at the end of episode 5, which has me really sad because, you guys, it's insane. And again, there's action in this. There's some incredible action. They are not messing around when it comes to the action in this, just like the previous part. I mean, I would say it's very similar, except they're spending a lot more time on He-Man, Adam, Skeletor, Skelegod, whatever you want to call them. And I think that maybe other fans, I think the fans, longtime fans, really truly will appreciate that. And I hope those who maybe weren't exactly massive fans of part 1 will give part 2 a try, because I feel like they do give that time to these characters that maybe some people felt like was missed. And of course, like I said, we've got some other returning characters. There's some really great stuff in here. Of course, Easter eggs out the wazoo, just like with part 1. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Again, I definitely think it's better than part 1, which I loved. So I absolutely love part 2. Except for that ending. I'm mad. I'm not happy. Actually, I think it's a really good ending. It's really great, and it's really going to propel and drive this story forward even more. I just really want to make sure that we get a part 3, because if this is the ending that we get, and we never get a part 3 of Masters of the Universe Revelation, I am not going to be happy, you guys. I will be upset. I will be mad. I will riot. Listen, I need a continuation of this. You cannot just end it like this. Now, Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 2 hits Netflix on November 23rd. All 5 episodes are going to drop together. Again, it's a 2.5 hour binge. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Not a problem at all. If by the time you already get to this review, you have already watched that, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. And if you have not seen it yet, obviously, if you're watching this before the release, let me know what you think. What did you think of part 1? Are you really looking forward to part 2? What do you think's going to happen? Like, just throw all your theories down below. I'll be interested to see if you're right or not. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more television reviews, movie reviews, trailer reactions, celebrity interviews, all that fun stuff. You guys can follow me over on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at MamasGeeky over there. I almost said Masters. Listen, Masters of the Universe is in my head. MamasGeeky, MamasGeeky. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, guys. I will see you next time. Thank you so much to all of my monetary supporters, my members here on YouTube, as well as my patrons. If you haven't joined yet, please consider doing so. We have some really awesome perks, including a monthly Zoom meeting where we get to talk face to face. Thank you again to everyone who supports me.